What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's on with me today. She's a recent college undergrad graduate, but is coming back as a graduate, and she is a track and field collegiate graduate. Her name is Isabel Petersun. And we're going to talk to her about her why of getting involved in the sports, but we're also going to ask her some get to know you questions. So without any further ado, I introduce you the wonderful, talented, and the beautiful Isabel. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored to have been asked, and I'm very excited to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have you on too. No question about that. We're gonna have ourselves a good time. No doubt about that. Listen, I looking at some of your stats that we've acquired, as I told you, I know you come from Kentucky. I know you're in Lexington. You also got a first team All American sixth place in the 200 meter indoors, and a first team All American seventh place, if I'm not mistaken, in outdoors 200 meters. It's pretty damn impressive, Isabel. No question about that. But I want to ask you this to say all that. And it's the first question that I have for all of my guests here that's on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. And that is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models, any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why for wanting to get into sports?
Yeah, that's a solid question. I think about the why a lot. I think early in my career, it was very much a performative why. It was like, let me be the best on my team, let me, outperform people in workouts, let me kind of like, it was this way that I could express this like non humble version of myself in sports, I guess. I don't know, maybe that's a bad way to put it, but I think it was very performative and it was very like outcomes based. And it wasn't really like that for me when I first, like, I was actually a soccer player first.
Wow.
I was
Okay.
a soccer, yeah, I was a soccer player my whole life. And then I had a friend introduce me. Her name's Soraya Espino, and I love her so much. She did track and field at NDSU, and she was like, "Izzy, come on, do track with me. It'd be great." And I was like, "All right, like let's try this out." That was my senior year, so I'd only had one outdoor season of high school track before entering. I My freshman year, I went to the University of Hawaii. So
Wow.
before entering like the division world of sprinting and all that, like I was this soccer girl, and I very much like felt like I was this soccer girl in track clothing, like the wolf in sheep's clothing in a way.
For sure.
Um, so that definitely was intimidating for sure. And then I kind of got mixed up with all like these performatives, trying to like be like, I guess, prove something. I was also a walk on, so it was kind of like I had a chip on my shoulder.
Right.
Um,
Prove that you
and
belong.
yeah, and it worked. Like I did well. I had one of the I think I had the fastest indoor 200 meter, no, 400 meter. I was a 400 athlete. I had the
Wow.
fastest 400 time uh, indoor that year that I was there. So I did well. Like I succeeded in ways, but I mentally struggled a lot as far as my why, and it ultimately led me to coming back home, coming back to the mainland. Now, anyways, this is kind of a long answer
You're
for
good.
this, but
You're good.
I really was able to come back to my why when I went to Division 3 at UW Platteville, and really just to like fall in love with the sport again for like the workout, like the physical exertion, like the type of person I get to be around my friends and like see what I'm capable of. So that's really what it came down to was I talked to my friend Evie Troxel. She's a pole vaulter on the UW Platteville team. And my why now is very much expression. I like to express myself. My teammates would laugh a lot because they'd always catch me like dancing in warm-ups and stuff. So yeah, I would say like my why from going to like being all this external validation or external like motivators in terms of that kind of stuff, when I dropped that and really focused on like going to the root of like why I show up and why I like want to be at practice every day, is literally just to feel the lactic acid, like put in that work, like do hard
For sure.
things. So express that part of myself.
No, I appreciate that, and listen. I appreciate the transparency, right? As far as you talking about you struggling with everything at the University of Hawaii. University of Hawaii is D1, right? There's big time. There's big time school, and sometimes the grass isn't always greener. But you have to realize that you only can realize that by going through it, right? By going through the motions and everything, right? But then you made a very grown up type of decision, like, hey, I may need to transfer. I might need to go somewhere, and I love that. I want to get back to a bonus question I had in my mind because you played soccer. I would love to know, what position did you play growing up? What other sports did you play growing up, and how did track become that number one sport for you?
Yeah, good question. I played defense. I was like an outside back for a long time, and then I did center back. I'm tall. I'm basically 5'10", so that kind of helped with that defense aspect of it.
Absolutely.
And then my senior year of high school, I transferred in high school, actually. They're like, yeah, we have no place to put this girl. Like, let's put her forward. And then I ended up succeeding in that position, like after like kind of putting in that work to learn the position. And my team won state senior year as a forward, so that was pretty cool. So I'd say like I bounced around a lot in terms of like positions, but I did play in college. Actually, I played at the UW Platteville for a season and a half. I left halfway through my second season
Wow.
for certain reasons, but yeah. I'm sorry, I got distracted. So
You're good.
how did track get
You're
put in
number
that number
one.
one spot?
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I feel like it almost was circumstance as much as anything. Um,
Hmm.
in the portal, I actually was talking to, it might have been the Montana coach, I can't remember. And
Yeah.
he was like, it kind of seems like you just needed an athletic outlet because
Right.
there was a there's so much information. So my sophomore year of college, I ran at the University of Cincinnati.
Wow.
That
So
was
you
the
went
second.
from, so hold on before you go. University of Hawaii, University of Cincinnati, then University of Platteville, Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wow. Go ahead. Okay, continue. Wow.
Yeah. So I actually track that indoor season at Cincinnati, my sophomore first semester. It I started putting it above. I couldn't take care of myself and also take care of track. I love track too much. Like I couldn't, like when you love something so much but you put it above yourself, and I think that I've seen that trend across other aspects of my life, like if you love something so much but you can't take care of yourself. So I took the decision to leave the Cincinnati track team. It was one of the hardest, next to leaving Hawaii, it was one of the
Right.
hardest decisions to leave, and I stayed at Cincinnati. I just didn't compete anymore. um,
Okay.
and I did a half Ironman.
Wow.
I did a half Ironman that semester that I
Track.
wasn't doing track. And so, anyways, back to kind of that coach's comment is like you just need like an athletic outlet. So, um, I think track really just epitomizes that athleticness of me. Like,
Mhm.
it is definitely a lot of technical skill, sprinting. Like, you need to learn angles and stuff. Um, and soccer will always have a beautiful place in my heart. I loved it, and I loved my time getting to play in college and throughout high school. But track kind of just had all the things. It had a teammate aspect, it had the individual aspect, and it had the accountability aspect that I think just kind of drawed me to it.
Wow, what an incredible start to this conversation, Isabel. that we ever started for sure. No question about it. I'm super intrigued now. I mean, just to go from three different universities and have that kind of, and not just three different universities, but three different kind of like time zones. We're talking about Hawaii to Cincinnati to the East Coast, Northeast, to the Midwest, to
I know.
Wisconsin, right? Back to the Southeast in Kentucky.
Right.
So, well, just all over the place. But I love that. It's well traveled. I gotta ask this follow up question. And listen, if you don't want to, you certainly can't. You certainly don't have to. But
Okay.
please tell me, what was reasons why you left that soccer team?
Oh no. Yeah, let me think if I can speak on that. Um, let's see. So, I actually transferred to Platteville to play soccer.
Yeah,
The reason I was done, I kind of decided track wasn't for me after Cincinnati. I was putting it above myself. And I was like, let's go back to my roots. Went to play soccer there, and the coach
sure.
did let me. She said it was an option if I wanted to do both, so that was one of the draws, just in case I kind of wanted to do it. Um, why did I leave? So I played a full season. It was my junior year of college. I played that full
Sure.
season. So I dual sported that year, and I think I really got out of it what I wanted. I got to play, college soccer. I had one start on senior night, so that was awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty
Um,
cool.
and so the next season, I was so like, oh my gosh, Chris, like I wanted to star, I wanted to help, I wanted to be like a big contributing factor. And I spent a lot of the summer before my senior year, like at the field playing soccer. And I ended up, I had like one of the best fitness scores, like during preseason, like I meant business. And then I strained my quad really bad.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that took me out of preseason. Um, and so like I would do my best to, still show up obviously, but I couldn't do certain drills, and that kind of takes me out of the lineup.
Yeah.
And then I got a pretty bad sinus infection, so my body was really fighting me. Um, was really fighting me, kind of trying to like accomplish the goal like with my quad and like feeling sick. And then I also think there were, honestly, I guess I'm like circling it, I didn't really find like my team, like my crew on that soccer team. I think it's an incredible program. It wasn't the best fit for me.
Sure. Sure.
And I think just with all the things lining up with sick, my quad, and then like not being a part of the culture in the way that I wanted to like add, and also not being able to contribute on the field as much, I really thought it would be better to just kind of focus on track.
I love that. And listen, and I love that explanation. It's a great explanation. And the reason why I asked though is because I've had many college athletes on here, and then sometimes they definitely go out and they'll talk about how sometimes the culture of the team is just not best for them. The connectivity of the team is just not that good, so they have to make a business decision where they have to maybe transfer. Sometimes they're homesick, and they have to just go back home because they just don't feel right, right? It's a plethora of reasons why you transfer schools and why sometimes situations don't work out. But I had to, the journalist in me had to ask because I was wondering,
Yeah.
like, I'm already wondering, like, man, three different schools, that's already tough. That's already
Yeah.
tough. So I like that. Now, what settled you on, because you talk about University of Hawaii, then University of Cincinnati. Again, those are two big time D1 type schools. Those are very noticeable type schools. When somebody starts talking about University of Wisconsin Platteville, you like, what the hell is that? I'm like, what? Platteville, where's that? So, how did you come across that? Where exactly is University of Wisconsin Platteville? Because when you think about Wisconsin, Milwaukee comes to mind, Green Bay comes to mind. Obviously, University of Wisconsin Badgers, they come to mind, but you certainly don't think about Platteville. So, how did that come? How did you choose that school, and how did they, was able to get your services?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, so like I said, after um my semester off, I guess, that semester at Cincinnati, I really did not want to let go of collegiate athletics yet, especially
Sure.
knowing I had eligibility left. My mom was like, "Go play rec soccer." I was like, "Mom, no, I gotta lock in."
Right.
Um,
That's not the
and
same, Mom.
it's not the same, Mom. I wanted to do more. Um,
For sure.
and so okay, I do kind of want to set this straight because um, I told my coach when I left the Cincinnati team that I was not going to be in the portal for like any reason. I did not have
Okay.
any foresight that I was going to continue athletics. I was kind of so broken,
Okay.
so
So
like
you were done after
distraught.
that point, what you're saying.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
done. She was like, "Do you want to be like a manager? Do you still want to be part of the team?" And I was like, "I just need to like take care of myself. Like I really wanted to regroup." And
Okay.
then I ended up doing the half Ironman, which is kind of crazy. I got inspired to play soccer again because I was going to my sister's soccer practices. She was, her high school team like let me go and just play with them, um, and I fell in love with it all over again. And I was like,
For
okay,
sure.
like what if I just transferred one more time? So I
Right.
hopped in the portal, and I was looking at some bigger schools. I was like, I can use, my Division 1 speed on this soccer team. Like they can use me. Looked at Xavier in Cincinnati, and it had just been too long since I'd been on the ball. Like I just didn't have the skills for that. so, uh, so I entered the portal. I looked at some schools, visited some schools, and I got an email from Platteville. I got two. I got one initially, didn't look at it. I was like, I don't know what this is. And then after kind of some of the schools that I was initially interested didn't work out, I was like, okay, what is this school? And I clicked on
Right.
the email. It was a very, very well put together email by the head coach at Platteville, the soccer coach, Coach Eliza, and a very well put together email, and it had like a video of all the facilities, and the video kind of caught my attention. I thought they had nice facilities. Um, and I was like, all right, like, let me hop on a call. Like, let's just see. Hopped on the call. She's a very lovely woman, very nice person, and she definitely, like, caught my attention in that aspect. And I think she was excited to kind of have that speed aspect in terms of, players. So I ended up going to visit, and I was like, yeah, like I can move here, and that was kind of definitely one of the biggest. I mean, moving to Hawaii and Cincinnati kind of were big leaps of faith, but I think then going to Platteville, kind of like it's a very small. It's a town of like 12,000, so it's
Yeah.
definitely a big
Yeah.
leap of faith to kind of find myself there. But I was very happy. It was a hard transition, but I'm very grateful for how it shaped me. I feel like when there's not a lot to work with, you really are faced with yourself.
For
Not
sure.
that there's not a lot to work with, but it's a small town comparatively
To the
to like,
last two schools you went to.
right, for
Yes.
sure. So you're really faced
Yes.
with yourself, and I think um, that those 2 years really embodied that, and I think I needed that to kind of be the competitor that I am today. And I'm very grateful for that.
I love that. I do. I really do. And obviously, going from the D1 to the D3, which is what University of Wisconsin Platteville is, that's still amazing. To be 5'10" and fast on a soccer field, you do not see a lot of 5'10" people running around on a soccer field. I
Yeah.
mean, you just don't. I mean, you do see athletic people. So to be that athletic on a soccer field is great. To even do that in track, to be 6 feet tall and to run like that is amazing. I want to ask you, you did graduate. So what did you graduate? What is your degree in?
Yeah, so my undergraduate degree is in technical writing. It's an English degree, Bachelor of Arts. And then I'll be going to grad school for communications this fall.
Okay. Awesome. Now, see, I got my degree in journalism, my undergrad, journalism and emerging media, and I just recently got December 25. I graduated with my master's in professional writing. So kind of the
Wow,
opposite, right? Thank you so
that's
much. I
awesome.
appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thank you, Isabel. I appreciate that. Now, I'm gonna ask you some favorite questions. You just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions, okay? So here we go. Favorite meal you like to cook?
That I like to cook. I gotta go with the classic steak and zucchini. I brought it to all my meets.
Mm,
And yeah, steak and zucchini for sure.
okay. Now, obviously, I'm not sure if you're doing it online or you're going back to Plattsville. But anytime I'm in the Wisconsin area, I might have to hit you up because I love me some steak. Now, how long? How do you like your steak though? Do you like your steak Like well done, medium rare, medium. How do you like it?
Definitely medium. I maybe medium rare. Sometimes I would hate for it to be like super underdone, but I guess I prefer a little underdone than overdone maybe.
Oh, no question. Yeah, I used to be a well done guy growing up, but now it's definitely medium rare for me. Have a little blood, a little juice is okay, but yeah, I don't want it like super undercooked. I don't want that either. So I'm with you on that. Okay. Favorite concert, Isabel, that you've ever
Oh no.
attended?
I've only been to one. It was in Hawaii and it was the Wallows. It was pretty solid. It was pretty
Mm.
solid, not gonna lie.
Okay, so I've never heard of the Wallows before. I'm gonna have to definitely like tap into Pandora and see if I can pick up some stuff. Never heard of that. I'm a Weekend guy. I don't know if you know who the
Okay, the
Weekend is,
weekend, yeah, that's
but
good.
yes, that's my guy. Now, if there was a concert of a music artist you would want to go to, Isabel, which one would you say that you would like to go to?
Oh man, I feel like I'm not necessarily a Swiftie, but like I would have loved to gone to like the Eras tour or something. Like that just would have been so fun. Or Noah Khan, I feel like he would. I don't know if Vance Joy I think isn't touring either, but I loved a lot of his stuff too.
Yeah, I'm a huge Noah Khan fan. "Dial Drunk" is one of my favorite songs.
Ooh, yeah, that's
I
a good
have
one.
that on repeat for sure, no question. And also his song called "Dan." Have you heard the song called "Dan"? Noah Khan.
No, but I think I've heard like bits of it like on
Yeah,
Instagram Reels.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. He's pretty good, no question. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Shoot. I just went to northern Italy with my family and we were
Wow.
close to the Dolomites and that was like beautiful. It was stunning. I was kind of fighting for my life cuz we were doing mountain biking, but I yeah, it was beautiful for sure.
Well, you definitely gonna have to give me some recommendations because I've never been to Italy, and that is on the list for sure.
Okay.
I would say my favorite place is Jamaica. Had a chance to go also a family trip on a cruise to Jamaica. That was so great. The food, the vibe, the scenery was dope. So I loved it. So it was a great time. Um,
Okay.
we are sports people, so I'm going to ask you a two-part sports question. Okay,
Okay.
so favorite sport you like to watch on TV, favorite sport you like to attend in person. They could be the same sport.
Watch TV, watch in person. Um, watch on the TV. Let's think. I would say, I love watching track. I watched the USA outdoor championship this afternoon, and that was really fun. Just a track,
Right.
really at heart. But I love watching soccer in person. Like it's so fun to like, especially if it's an exciting game. Um, I'd say that.
So was you big into the World Cup? I had just worked the Fanatics Fest, so I was covering Fanatics Fest in New York City, and they had the watch parties. So we was there with some of the celebrities and stuff like that. Had a chance to talk to Kevin Hart and different people like that, and it was crazy. Like it was watch parties was insane, but it was so tense too because everybody was so quiet, especially for the
Yeah, like
final.
everyone's waiting.
Right, right. Did you get a chance to watch the World Cup?
I did, yeah. I watched the final game like all the way through. I wasn't. My sister for some reason got super into it. She was watching
Right.
every game like religiously, like she had it up like just wherever we were. Um, I watched it here and there. I wasn't like super like watching it all the time, but yeah, I did follow it.
Yeah, the final is probably pretty much what I watch because I thought that France would win it. So when France lost,
I know. She wanted France
uh,
to win.
I was like, wow, because Mbappe is my favorite player. I mean,
Yeah,
Messi's the GOAT, don't get me wrong, but Mbappe was my favorite player. And when I saw Spain beat him, I was like, ooh, boy, they might win it because not only did they beat him, they shut him out. I mean, France didn't
yeah.
even score that game. So I was like, oh, man. And I thought France was the most talented team coming into it. So, yeah, okay, I like that. I like your sports that you picked. Now, last one. I'm a huge foodie. Okay, so I'm not sure what's the biggest city near University of Wisconsin Plattsville? Is it Milwaukee? Is it Green Bay? Is it another city?
I think it's probably Madison.
That would be the capital if I'm not mistaken. The
Oh, I'm
capital of
sorry. You said
Wisconsin.
city.
Yeah. No, no,
Wait.
no. That's the city. I mean, that's the capital of
Yeah, yeah,
Wisconsin.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Now, tell me
I'd be
what.
scared there. I thought I just made my. Okay, anyways.
You're good. You're good. No problem. No, I was gonna ask you like, what is your favorite place that you like to go out and eat at?
Go out to eat. What's funny is so Platteville doesn't have a ton of food options as far as like fast food. I mean, I guess it does, but I would go to Madison. Actually, Dubuque, Iowa is pretty close too, and
Okay.
that's only 30 minutes.
Hmm.
But I would say Chipotle. Chipotle is just the solid choice every time. Or Qdoba. Qdoba's, I guess, they're very similar.
Isabel, you just became my best friend, or at least one of them for
Hey.
sure, no question. Because you said the number one restaurant. I am absolutely hooked on Chipotle. I don't know
Chipotle,
about
yeah.
you, but I am a huge bowl and taco person. I am a huge. I like to get double chicken. I like to get brown rice. I like to get the guac, the cheese, the
Fill it
bean.
up.
Yes, I love that. And the tacos, I'm a huge, like I said, chicken person, so I like the tacos as well. So I get the bowl of tacos from Chipotle. Plus,
Mm.
sometimes I'll get a little fancy, get double brown rice. So, I love that. So that's just me.
Okay, okay, twin. That's good. That's good.
Yes, indeed. I love that. That's awesome. Okay. Now, let's talk about your day to day. And what I mean by that is as a college student athlete, right? Obviously, when you're a college student athlete, you're taking probably full-time classes. If you're taking full-time classes, it's anywhere from 4 classes or more. You have practices, you have a weight room, lifting, right? In the off season, you have conditioning, but for track, it's a little different because you have an indoor season, you have an outdoor season. You pretty much train almost year round, what most athletes do. You have study hours, right? You also have sleep, and you also need to have a social life.
I do
You
need
seem to have a
that.
great, right? You seem to have a great personality. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you at all. I think you'd be
Oh,
amazing to be
thanks.
around. But you also, as a college athlete, man, you got to be disciplined and you're super busy. So I want you to tell me, like, what was your day to day operations like? And what will it be like, even as a graduate student? Because now, as a graduate student, you're going to have night classes if you go there, mainly because you're dealing with a lot of older people that, working in the daytime. So, talk to me about your day to day operations as a college student athlete.
Yeah, I feel like my most accurate representation was maybe definitely like in competition season. It changes for sure, so it's not as consistent. I would say like October, November is really like grind season. That's when the days all look the same. You're living the same day every day. So like a typical day. Let's see if I can remember. Wake up at 8. I have class until I think 1-ish, and
Wow.
I would get lunch in between that.
Yeah.
And then I would have practice. I'd practice 3 to 4:30, and then we always did the weight room after. So the way
Wow.
Platteville ran it, we would do a workout, a running workout, and then we'd go lift. Um, so that was kind of a lot, but I would always bring like protein shake, go-go squeezes. Like my teammates never saw me without like my protein shake and like my little snacks.
Right. Right.
And I actually, getting older, I'm 22 now. I would come early to practice. I usually would get there around 2 if practice started at 3, and I would do a bunch of like mobility and like strength stuff. Um, that was like peak time, like doing that all the time. And then as the season went on, I think I like reduced that time before practice. But practice probably, yeah, 3 to 4:30, and then
Hmm.
we would lift until like 5:30. So we'd be
Right.
done around 5:30, and then we'd go eat dinner, and then I would like watch. I'd probably watch TV, look at emails and stuff. Um, yeah, kind of a lot. Like not. I was an English major, so a bunch of my stuff was just like having to write and
Papers.
having to read stuff. So
Yeah.
I didn't have to study a bunch, which was really nice. But yeah, maybe I had like a paper or something to write in the evening, but yeah, that was the bulk of the day was like 3 to 5:30 of training.
Got you. Got you. Now, what was a typical off season like? Like, when it's not so hectic, right? Because I know, like I said, you have different kind of seasons for track, but at the same time, what was the lesser time frames where you didn't have as many events as you were going to participate in?
Um, I would say okay, off season. Could you like pick like a month that I could tell you? So like
For sure.
we have like build. There's like the fall where you're building the engine. Basically, you're doing all the volume, and
Yeah.
then you're getting into comp season, and you're kind of like sharpening stuff, and then you get into like outdoor and stuff, and it's like taper, 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 and that taper is scary because you're like cutting all the work stuff in half. So not that
Okay.
that's the off season, but the taper I would maybe consider like less bulk, I guess, but it's more refined if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does make sense. Okay. I like that. I like that. Now, this bleeds into the next, or blends, I should say, into the next question, which is about school life balance and mental health. Obviously, those two things are very important in anybody's life. And I've known a lot of journalists that have left this industry because their mental health was affected. I've known a lot of people have their balance, work life or school life balance, just not balanced at all. And, it's tough. I don't think you ever get 100% balance because balance looks different for everybody, right? Some people can handle a lot of stuff, some people can't handle much at all, but to each his own. I want to ask you, Isabel, uh, how do you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that school life balance? Because again, you seem like a wonderful woman to be around. I wouldn't mind hanging out with you, and I'm sure your friends and family feel the same way about you. But you do have a lot going on as a college student athlete because you're doing both. You're going to school and you're participating in athletics. So, talk to me. How did you maintain your mental health and not experience burnout or being overwhelmed?
Wow. I love this question because I think it really embodies this past year for sure. Um, I think how do I keep my mental health good? I think I think it really comes down to a couple, maybe three things. One
Okay.
is like the day to day for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Making sure, I think really learning how to fuel my body. Like there's a lot of things that feel small. The very end of my junior year, the first year with Platteville, I talked to my coach, Lexus Loven. Um, she's an amazing person. There's a weird bird over there. um, and sorry, it's really loud. She talked about little goals or small goals and how that kind of compounds into like these bigger goals. And I think I really took that to heart my next year and really like learning how to take care of myself. I think, feeding yourself, like staying on top of the things that you need to stay on top of, apart from just athletics. And then I think like leaning on people, like leaning on your teammates, leaning on your coaches, asking for help when you need it. There's definitely not a one size fits all. I think taking care of my mental health freshman year to my senior year of college looked different every single year. Um,
Sure.
I think my senior year, I definitely would say I had the most success. I
Hmm.
actually broke the 200-meter indoor record with
Wow. Look at you.
another lady, another very talented woman,
Yeah.
Sydney Radigan. She also broke it. Um, and then outdoor, I became runner up in the 1 and 200 at Division 3 nationals. So I'd say as far as like my times and like what I was able to accomplish really culminated my senior year. And I feel like my senior year had a lot of like personal struggles emotionally. And I think being communicative with my coaches and honestly like my parents and stuff, I think what I'm trying to get at is just use your people. I think a lot of the struggling I went through that semester or that that year, this last year specifically, was due
Yeah.
to me kind of self isolating. And I think as athletes, we really do feel like the weight is on our shoulders, like there's a lot of pressure. Um, and I think we feel like we have to hold it alone because on the line it's just us, right? Or, on the field it's just, I mean, I guess if you're like playing a team sport, it's like you and your teammates. But I think seeking community and like your people and like talking to people, I think really helps.
No, I love that. I do. And I want to ask this bonus question because you mentioned it a few times throughout this conversation and talking about working on myself and improving myself. What was going on with yourself? Like, if you care to share, like, what was happening to where you have to have those type of thoughts evoking in your mind? Like what happened? If you care to share about that.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason I'm going to talk about this is because I joke about it. I joked about it with my teammates a lot last year. I remember one of our first indoor meets that I ran at was Mankato. We ran at, yeah, Minnesota Mankato, and I
Yeah,
ran a really, really well, like a really good time. And people were like, Izzy, like, how did you do it? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you eating? Like, joking with me. And I was like, guys, get your heart broken, and then you can do anything you want.
right.
Um, the summer before going into my senior year, I went through a pretty bad breakup, and it got kind of
Mm.
drug out throughout my whole senior year, pretty much.
Right.
Um, and I think it's definitely, it was one of the hardest things that I've gone through. Um,
Sure.
and so it was funny, like, coming to hard workouts. Like, I don't know, one time my coach was like, 300s, go. And I was like, I didn't care. I was like, all right, we can do that because I felt like I had already gone through something so devastating and so tragic that those
It
type
didn't
of
matter what
workouts
you were
would
doing.
really get to me. Yeah,
Right.
I
Right.
actually when I was in the portal, so I'm not at Platteville anymore. I'm actually at a school in Texas called Tarleton for graduate school. But
Oh,
when I
okay.
was in the portal, I actually got the opportunity to talk to the FSU coach, Florida State. It didn't end up being a match. I wasn't like it didn't end up working out, unfortunately. But he asked me, he was like, "How's your mental fitness? Like, how are you able? Like, how would you show up to practices that would demand a lot from you?" And I told him,
Sure.
I was like, I went through a really, really tragic breakup, and it really kind of made me feel really fit. And I think at first it really did not feel that way. Like I felt like I'd been, pushed down to a like really dark place. And then
Sure.
I kind of used track my senior year to kind of pull myself back up, kind of focus in on the process.
Yeah.
So I guess that was what was going on personally. Um, and I think it's kind of funny emotionally. That was probably one of the most difficult seasons of my life, even though my results kind of were the best results that I had
Yeah.
throughout my
Yeah. Some
career.
great results. Yes.
So it's weird to kind of see those back to back because you would think like you need to be like having a perfect controlling so much of having a regulated nervous system, let's say. Like you just need to like I would think like you need to be calm, you need to be, emotionally there. But I think like the fact that I was using track to kind of help me like stabilize was definitely like a way that I came to found peace in track because it really kind of gave me a home to come to when I felt like there was really nowhere else to go.
For sure, right? You kind of like you said, you leaned on the sport and you kind of use it as a substitute for the feelings that you had or was devastated with your relationship. Again, I appreciate the transparency. It's never easy talking about a breakup, especially somebody who you really care about. His loss, though, no question about that, because you are absolutely amazing. There's no
Well, thank
question
you. I
about that.
appreciate That's
And
what the FSU coach said too.
oh well, yeah. Come on now. I mean, listen. No, nobody day ones understand that, and I'm not a day one, but clearly, talking to you for the past 39 minutes, I don't see any reason why there's no reason to like you
Oh
or
my
be
god,
around you,
crazy.
in my mind. But again, to each his own. He might have had his reasons. God bless his heart. Um, But I know that you mentioned it like several times throughout this conversation. So I just wanted to kind of know, like, hey, what was that place that took you to that place of where you had to work on yourself, right? That you had to kind of relock in, right? Because that's what it seems like. It seems like you went through the fire, and then once you went through the fire, you realized it was really hot. You got burned, and you got scars from that. But at the same time, you went through it, and you locked back in and found and kind of refound your passion and your love, and found your purpose and your why again for why you're doing track instead of just trying to do it because you can do it. Do it and put a love of it.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry, can you rephrase, like, is there like a question in your question?
No question. Just
Oh,
a
okay,
statement.
that was
That
just a
was a
statement.
statement.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, but it was gonna
Yeah,
blend
yeah, that's
into
very
this
true.
next question for sure,
Okay, okay, yeah.
and that is advice. Okay, what is some advice now that you say you are, as you said, 22, kind of seasoned in this collegiate career of track and field? There's going to be girls on the team. There's going to be up and coming. There's going to be sophomores, freshmen, underclassmen, pretty much, right? What kind of advice would you give them or give to any high schooler that may want to talk to you about being a college athlete, being a college student athlete? What kind of advice would you give them, Isabel?
I would give them the advice of expression. I feel like expression has really saved me, and not even just track, but kind of like in the rest of parts of my life. Um, and I also think like in the track world, especially me, and I feel like I can say this because I went through it. I really like there's so much superstition in track because you feel like there's so many uncontrollables
Mhm.
that you're working with. Like, is there a false start? Like, am I gonna get out good enough? Like, I feel like there are so many uncontrollables, and I think that's why like sports people tend to lean on what are they called? Superstitions. So they're like,
Sure.
oh, if I wear this hairband on this hand, I'll run this way. Or if I, wear these socks or eat these foods. I think
Right.
for me, a lot of it felt very uncontrollable and very shaky. And I was like looking for signs all the time that, oh, I was going to compete this way. And I think at the end of the day, it really is about that boring life, about you, like everyone says, you get in, you get what you put into it. And I really saw that this last year when I was adding that extra time before warm ups and I was adding that extra time and I was really like focusing on the things that I was eating because it's just a process. It's a skill. It's something that you're building, and I think the more conscious and aware you are of like your goals and like what you're trying to get to, like not only does the process feel better, but like my coach, Armando Payan, giving all the shout outs, he
I love
always
it.
preferred to say, you are, he didn't like to say, like, are you ready? He would say, you're prepared. So, like, when you get on the start line, like, are you preparing the ways that you want to be? And I think a lot of times you have girls, there's a lot of emotions in track and athletics and stuff because you're, exerting so much energy and you care so much and there's, a lot of emotions. And I think sometimes those emotions come out when you just believe so much more for yourself and you're not
Right.
showing that. But that's
Right.
not because of one race. It's because of all the little moments and decisions that, come along the way. Come along the way that like build that moment when you are on the line. So I would say like build those moments. Build, have the small wins. Go to bed on time, eat the food that you need to eat, like give it a real go because I think people are disservicing themselves when they want something so much, but then their actions don't, you know, um, coincide with what they tell themselves that they want. So decide that you want it and then do everything in your power to get it. That's my
Love it.
advice.
I love it. No, great advice. It's pretty dope advice. I want to know. We know that you do the 200 meters, and you mentioned the 100 meters. What other track events do you run?
Yeah. I ran the 60. Oh, this is a fun story. I ran the 60 throughout my college career, and I really uh, did well this year. So, my junior year at Platteville, I didn't qualify for the 60 for nationals. I didn't
Okay.
qualify. I think I was like one spot out. or
Wow.
something like that. And they really wanted me to focus on the 200 anyways. Um, my senior year, I was first seed going in to the 60 at indoor nationals, and that was like a big deal to me because the 60 was never one of my like primary events, and it's one of
Right.
those ones that I think can be harder for taller people. um, so I would say the 60 is one, and then my freshman year I actually was a 400 specialist.
Wow.
But yeah, other than that, that's where I no more after that for me.
So for those of you that are not up on the track game, when she says 100, that's pretty much a straight shot. That's just running straight down, right? About 100 meters. Okay, 200s is about almost halfway. I would say almost halfway of a track. 400 is a full track. That's a full lap.
Mm-hmm.
Full lap around 400. That's what you do. Again, me being a sports reporter, this is why I know these things of track, and I've covered track. And track, normally, I've covered high school track. And let me tell you something, it's blistering hot out there in the springtime covering track. A track meet is not the funnest thing to cover. Now, I'm going to tell you that right now. Not fun at all. But I've done it, and I've done it with pride. So I just had to throw that out there. Now, Isabel, we have reached a portion of my podcast, and we're going to play my interactive game. It's called This or That. It's
Oh
a game
shoot.
that I like to play with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and it's very simple. I'm going to throw some things at you, and you get to choose this or that. So, Isabel, are you
Okay.
ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather go in, sit down, and eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Texas Roadhouse all the way, all the way.
You like the cinnamon biscuits, don't you?
Well, yeah, yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, twin. That's what I'm talking about. Because we off to a good start. Here we go. Let's see if we can keep this thing going. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor out of these two wings would you rather put on? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Ooh, I gotta go lemon pepper.
Okay. Do you like your wings wet or dry?
I think wet, yeah.
Okay. Now, do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
I think bone in.
So you like to get a little messy with it.
Yeah, that's how I like it.
Okay, girl, you on fire. I like this because that's how I like it too. Let's get messy, get a wet wipe, and let's go to work on some
Let's
wings. I'm
go.
with you on that. Okay, I'm with you on that. Now let's see if we can keep this thing going. The next 5 questions have to do with music concerts you rather attend. So if I ask you, Isabel, do you listen to all kinds of music or do you listen to a specific genre? You would tell me what?
All kinds.
Okay, we're going to test that theory because I'm
Oh
going to ask you
no.
all kinds. So here we go. First music concert. Out of these two artists, which artist would you rather go see? Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Here we go. Next one. Out of these two artists, which artist would you rather go see? Chris Brown or Usher?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go Usher on that one.
Okay, I like it. I like it. All right, here we go. They're going to get harder as we go. Out of these two music artists, which artists would you rather go see? Casey Musgraves or would you rather see Luke Combs?
I gotta go Casey for sure. I got a bunch of her songs.
Okay, okay, I like it. Here we go. Out of these artists, which artist would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Dua Lipa or SZA?
Ooh, I think SZA. I think I have to do SZA.
You sure? Because you said ooh first.
I know, but I think I know more SZA songs.
Okay, all right, I'm with you on that. Now, last one for the music. Which music concert out of these two artists would you rather go see? Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
I'm gonna say Kendrick Lamar.
Girl, is there any other damn answer? Is there any other answer than K Dot? Come on now, come on, I'm with you on that. You went 5 for 5. I would have chose every one of those artists that
Let's
you said. To be
go.
honest
Let's
with you,
go.
amazing. I love it. Now, okay, here we go. Let's go back to sports. Which sport out of these two would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or baseball?
Basketball, 100%. Not even a question. I'm sorry. Not even a question. Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. The face that you made is priceless. You like hell no to baseball.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Your face was priceless. It's so funny. It's Gosling. I would pick basketball too. Okay, out of these two sports, which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Mm, I would say badminton.
Does that mean that you're a terrible bowler?
No, well, I just think bowling gets boring sometimes. Like you just,
Uh, I got you.
I want a little something to mix it up. Little
Okay, I
dive.
can feel that. I can feel that. Yeah, you move around a lot more. Well, somewhat. You can move around somewhat in badminton. It depends on how you hit the birdie. That's for sure. No
Right,
question.
right.
Okay. Now, do you like desserts?
Yes, I do actually. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to name four categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these categories to get rid of that you would never eat again.
Oh
Okay,
no.
so here we
Okay.
go. The first category is cookies. The next category is grouped together. So there's pies slash cakes. Okay,
Man.
the third one is ice cream. Third category is ice cream. The last category is candy. Which one are you getting rid of?
I'm gonna say cake. Like,
Okay, okay.
I don't really. I'm not a big cake person.
I feel that. Now, if I ask you, Isabel, what is your favorite ice cream flavor to eat? You would tell me what?
Ice cream. This is controversial. I feel like because everyone says it tastes like toothpaste, but I love mint chocolate chip. Like I feel like that's just the go-to.
A lot of people have said mint chocolate chip on this platform on my podcast, and
Really,
I've told them all the same thing that I'm about to tell you, which is I've never tried that flavor.
man, you
And all,
need to try it.
yeah. In all my years of living, I've never tried it. And I'm tragic on that.
You
But you
gotta
know,
put that on your bucket list.
it definitely is. I don't know if it's in the front of the bucket list, but it certainly is on the
It's
bucket list.
on
That's for
there.
sure.
Okay.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay. What about potato chips? Do you eat chips?
Yeah, not frequently, but I do for sure.
Okay, same format. I'm going to name four brands. You have to choose one of these brands to get rid of. So here we go. The first brand is Doritos. The
Okay.
second brand is Lay's. The third brand is Ruffles. The last brand, well, hold on. We said Doritos, Lay's, Ruffles. The last brand is Pringles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Um, for some reason I can't think of what I think. I would say Pringles. I don't think I eat Pringles very often.
Okay, so listen, Isabel, if you and I walked into a grocery store together and I said, hey, go to the chip aisle and buy your favorite chip to eat, you would buy what?
I would buy the salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, hell no. No, you did not just
Stop!
say salt and
Stop!
vinegar,
It's
yo.
so good.
Oh my gosh. We was rolling like
It's
Ike and
so
Tina.
good.
And then we just fell off the boat. We just did. We just crashed. I'm gonna just tell you like
Oh,
this. I'm gonna tell you like this, okay? Because listen, you're amazing, hardworking, beautiful, all the above. But salt and vinegar is the second worst chip ever made. I'm gonna just tell you that
second
right now.
worst.
Yeah, second worst chip.
What's the
The third
worst?
worst is kettle chips. Whoever invented kettle chips, y'all just God bless y'all heart, 'cause y'all need to be slapped. Kettle chips does not deserve to go with a cheeseburger. I went to a restaurant and they had no fries, no tater tots. They had kettle chips with the cheeseburger. I said never again I will go to that restaurant. It actually happened in the Midwest because prior to me moving to New
Really?
York,
That's
I lived in Minnesota. So when you said Mankato, Minnesota, I know exactly what you're talking about because that's Southwest Minnesota.
yeah.
Yes, and I know exactly what it is because I used to live in Marshall, Minnesota. So yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I know about that. However, the first worst chip ever made is Funyuns. Whoever
Yeah. I don't
made
think it. Yeah.
Funyuns, mm-mm, that ain't it. That ain't it. Salt and vinegar, I could eat about three of those before my mouth started burning. That's
Oh
it.
my gosh.
Wow, salt and vinegar, Isabel. Okay. Well, like I said, you can't have it all.
You
Listen,
can't
that's
have
all
it
I
all.
say.
You can't have
You
it
can't have
all.
it all. You can't have it all. But it's okay. It's all right. You did pretty good on this or that. You were very decisive. So I'll give you credit for that for sure. Now, This next question is called bucket list. The reason why it's called bucket list is because I want you to speak it into fruition. I want you to give me a top 4 list of things you would like to do in your collegiate career that you haven't done yet. Now, obviously, you're about to be a graduate runner, so you've done quite a bit. But I'm sure there's some goals that you have in your mind before you close this chapter of collegiate athletes. What would you like to do? Give me a top 4.
Top 4. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Uh. Hmm. Hmm. I'm not. I like to speak about actions, and it's hard for me to speak goals out loud because I like
Mm.
my actions to show the results of the goals. I think there's definitely like I would like to have gone farther than I did my other years in
Mm-hmm.
Division 1. However that looks like, I think that will be pretty achievable considering I only did the 4
Mm-hmm.
my freshman year and things. But I think go further than I've been before, athletically, um, in whatever
Is there
capacity that
is there
means.
a certain venue? Is there a certain venue that you want to run at?
I would love to run in Eugene. Not even specifically because of nationals, but I just have, like, it's like Tracktown USA. Like, Eugene would be amazing.
Okay.
I think, Texas Relays. I think we might go to Texas Relays. Um, I've heard mixed reviews about the weather there and stuff, but I think that would be amazing. Um,
Do you want to break any other records as far as any other records than any other events that you do?
um, Yes, I would say the 200 is definitely like my biggest
Mm-hmm.
goal this year. I think it's where I'm gonna where my abilities come together and like have the biggest impact. Um,
Okay.
Tarleton, I think, is entering a new uh, conference. They were in the WAC and they're
Yeah.
moving to a new conference. So I'd love to do some big things for them in the conference.
But yeah, I believe Tarleton's a step up from Division 3. I think you're going back towards Division 1, if I'm not mistaken. And Tarleton, remind me, what's the biggest city near Tarleton? I have family in Texas, which is in Houston, and I've been to Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and I've also been to Amarillo, Texas as well. But I have not been to Austin, Texas, which is a place I would love to go to. But where in Texas is the biggest city near Tarleton?
Yeah, it's like an hour and 40 minutes, 2-ish hours from Dallas. So I
Oh,
think
that's
it's
not
like
bad.
southwest.
Yep, that's not bad. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of great colleges, obviously, out there in Texas, for sure. No question. Now, I want to ask you about advice again. Now, we talked about advice you would give, but I want to know now, what is some advice someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Hmm. Yeah. Advice I've been given. I've been given a lot of good advice. I would say one of the things that I love the most about myself as a competitor is I feel like I can soak up um, ideas and information and like people's advice from a lot of different places, um, no matter like where they are in their journey.
Hmm.
And I would say I think the biggest ones I already mentioned earlier was um, the little wins, stacking the days. My coach at Platteville, she talked about how the little wins like come together to make the big wins, and I think I really took that to heart for sure. Um, and then even I went to my brother's yoga session. Like he goes to yoga, and I went with him. And the teacher was talking about how like we were in lunges and stuff, and talking about how to like keep the pressure on the different parts of the foot and like where like how that works. And I just find myself like recalling stuff like that I learned from a lot of different places. So um, I always thought that was cool because it can like things like you never thought would help you like end up helping you in ways in different ways.
Got you. Got you. Now, uh, this bonus question came up in my mind because I think that people should. I think it's a question that I should ask, and I typically ask this to every college athlete. Traveling on the road. When you're on the road and you have to take these road trips and you have to go because typically, when you're doing track and field meets, unless you have like a out of world track field, you're typically going to like a neutral site and you're going and you're driving or you're flying right out of state. Talk to me about going on the road and still trying to maintain your position in class because classes can be kind of crazy when you're trying to do homework, going on the road and stuff. Are you a component of online classes? Did you take online classes in there, or how did you keep your classes like together? But also, how would you be when you have to be in hotels and sleeping in different places like that?
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is I'm actually not a proponent of online classes. I learn so much better like in person.
Yeah.
Um, so with English, a lot of it, like I said, was like reading and writing. Um,
Mhm.
I was pretty lucky in the terms of my schoolwork, like being able to kind of front load a lot of my schoolwork to avoid doing it on the road. Um, I think it depends on like what type of major you have. Like Platteville was an engineering school, and there was a bunch of the girls were engineers, and like they had to bring their computers on the bus or in the hotels
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually at outdoor nationals, D3 nationals this past year, I had a paper due, and I just did my best. Like you only have like a certain amount of time to get things done.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I have a funny story. For indoor nationals, I had a paper due in English. I took a lot of creative writing classes, and those teachers tend to be more like lenient.
For sure.
I was
Yeah.
writing a story, and it was creative nonfiction, so it was about like my life, and I had to submit it. I think before I was supposed to compete, but anyways, I asked her for an extension because I didn't want to like think too much about like my essay because like it was about like a deep reflection about like stuff that I
Oh,
had learned. So
right.
um,
Right.
she was like, "Yeah, that's totally," because I didn't want to like get all like jumbled up before I was about to race and stuff. But she said that
Right.
was fine. So my if I had to give any advice with that is just like reach out to your teachers. Usually they're very accommodating. I mean sometimes they're not, but I feel like for the most part they can be um, with that.
Yeah, I mean, they try to give you some leeway because they understand that you're on the road. They understand schedules, right? They understand that you're a little bit different than what the normal student is going like myself. I was just in the media. So all I had was a sports show and I was covering different events, but I would go to class. I loved online classes because I got sick and tired of hearing monotone damn teachers talk and bore me to death. Like, especially when I got up to my upper level classes because when you're in communication and journalism, like you talked about in English, you're not really doing a whole lot of tests. You're doing a whole lot of papers and
Yeah,
research papers and stuff like that. And, teachers that are very wordy and that can talk to you, it's like, oh boy, like this going to be a rough one. And you in there for 75 minutes, especially if it's like 2 days a week. Or in my case, I took a lot of 1 day classes. So my classes was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I'm like, yo, we can't do this. We got to put your ass online because I'm gonna get bored. I'm gonna get bored of talking to you for real. So, but it's a question worth asking because there's a lot of college athletes that do it different ways. And when you're on the road, you even have to be more disciplined with your work. And trying to focus on your meet or your game or match or whatever and trying to do homework is already pretty tough for sure.
yeah, for sure. When you mean like you were online classes, like you did the work on your own, like you didn't have to hear teachers talk and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because for me, whenever I went, especially like I said, my upper level, because when you first start college, and typically when you start as a freshman, you always get the first freshman semester. People pick your classes for you, right? You get that. Oh yeah, you could take this. But I learned very quickly. I don't want no damn body picking my classes for me because I know me. they don't know me as well as I know me. I don't want to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's some people that love to get up that early, and God bless your heart for those that will watch this that do. God bless your heart that you do. But you typically follow that schedule all K through 12, right? Like elementary, middle, and high school. You have to get up super early in the morning. When you're in college, you can pick your own classes and you can pick your own damn time to get up. I didn't want to get up at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning. My earliest class was probably 9:30, maybe 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, definitely, for sure. Because for those of you that will, like I said, watch this. When you do go to college, you definitely want to follow these three rules. Number one, no 8 o'clock classes. If you have any 8 o'clock classes, it's just because maybe the sections are low. Maybe it's because, there's just not enough sections. Maybe it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. But typically you don't want to pick those classes because those are like 45-minute, 50-minute long. And you're like sitting in class for 50 minutes on a Friday and it's a ghost town. Which brings me to my second point. No Friday classes. If you are in college, the main reason is to not get a Friday class. You definitely want that 4-day weekend. You definitely want at least a 3-day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before you come back to Monday, right? You want to do your classes Monday through Thursday for sure. And lastly, if you're living on campus, don't be a hermit. Go out and people live on campus because they want to explore things. Like you got to explore the school. A lot of people live on campus and sometimes they just stay in their dorms. That's stupid. That's silly. Don't do that. There's all type of campus events going on. You don't have to be a party animal like myself. I know I was, but you don't have to be that. But you certainly need to go out and explore because that's what the college experience is all about. So that's why I typically tell people and ask people those questions, but it's much tougher for college athletes to do that because they're under a microscope even more. Like you got to be careful. Coach does not want that call early in the morning that so and so got in trouble. And it's real easy to do that if you are a social butterfly, like at least like myself. So I definitely had to keep it under wraps. I stayed on campus for a year before I moved off campus and got my own place. I'm not sure if you stayed on campus for all your years that you was in school, but yeah. So that's what I would say.
I got you. I got you.
But with that being said, we are starting to come to the end of the podcast. And what I'm going to do is some rapid fire with you. Okay. So it's a little different than this or that. Rapid fire is the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. And I want you to shout it out with glee. Okay. So here we go. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Juice or soda?
Juice.
Chicken or ribs?
Chicken.
Okay. Favorite color?
Blue.
Blue's my favorite color too. I like that. All right. Favorite TV show or Netflix TV series?
New Girl.
Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah, New Girl. All right. Go
That's
figure.
just like an easy go-to. I also like Community. That's on Netflix, I think.
Yes, it is. I know exactly those two shows. No question. I'm a Breaking Bad guy, so I like Breaking Bad. Okay. Favorite board game?
I think there's a Game of Life board game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Life is good. Favorite card game?
Spades.
You know how to play some spades?
I do, yeah.
Oh, girl, I might have found me a partner. Hold on. Let me see, though. Do you play ace high or do you play joke, joke, deuce, deuce?
I think ace high is what we do.
That's fine, too. I'm with it. Okay, all right. I might have to pull up to Tarleton now. I might have to pull up when I do now. Okay, I like that. Spades is my favorite game, too. I love it. All right. If you had a choice to choose 3 people with you to go on vacation with, so it's 3 plus you equaling 4, who would you choose and where would you go? Now, Isabel, before you choose, you can choose family, friends, or celebrities, or a combination of all 3.
Or celebrities.
Yeah. Because sometimes when you choose friends, you leave friends out, and people feel salty about that, and family too.
No. I feel like I could go with like my 4x1. Well, let me think. I'm trying to think.
Well, you only can choose 3. You can't choose 4.
I know. Can't do all 4.
Yeah.
This is a hard question. 3 people.
Yeah.
I might do. Oh my gosh, I'm scared for this question.
You can
I
choose
have to do my.
celebrities now.
Okay. I'll do. Uh, wait, can they be like character? No, not characters. They have to be like.
I mean, they could be characters. If are they real? Are they real people?
Yeah, real people. Okay,
Yeah, you
wait.
could.
I'm like overthinking this question. I'd say my sister has to be one, so that
Okay.
takes away one spot.
Okay. Shout out to Isabel's sister. She's amazing.
Say yes. Two more. I'll go my friend Haley
Oh,
Standard from Platteville, and then Kayla. My
okay. So that's
friend.
a girl. So it's a girls' trip now.
Girls
Where
trip
would
for
you
sure.
go? Where would you go?
Where would we go? I think we would go to Paris.
I like it. I like it. That's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Favorite alcoholic drink?
Oh man. I feel like I get hate on this, but Tweez. I'm a
Say
tea
what?
girl. Like a twisted tea.
Okay. Okay. What do they call those? Tweez?
Tweez, yeah.
All right. They need to put that in the trash. They don't need to call them no more. Don't call that no more. I know what you're talking about though. I like those. Those are pretty good. Favorite sandwich?
Just ham and cheese. No, that's a lie. I I don't eat dairy, so no cheese for me, but just like bacon, ham, avocado, lettuce, like that's all I
Okay.
need.
All right, I got you. All right, I like that. Now, if you had a choice to listen to three songs or three artists on repeat and never get tired of them, what would those three artists or three songs be?
Um, I'm gonna say uh Sweet Heat Lightning by I know who it's by, but I can't pronounce his last name. Um, and then God, I'm going like all different genres. So Sweet Heat Lightning, and then I'm
Okay.
gonna say 360 by Charlie XCX, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna say these are just the ones coming to my head. It's like a party song.
Hmm.
I don't know. Uh, the ones coming to mind. No, I can't say that.
Why not?
um, I'll just say, what's a Taylor Swift song? Oh, maybe "Invisible String" by Taylor Swift.
Okay, I like that. Those are three good songs, no question about that. I want to ask you this rapid fire: name a sport outside of track and field and soccer that you would dominate in if you
Oh
played
my
it.
goodness. Out of track and soccer,
Yes, that you would dominate in, be really
that I would
good if you played it.
dominate. Put me in it. Um, I would say.
I know one sport's coming
Uh,
to mind.
what?
I said one sport's coming to my mind.
Oh, it is? Are you gonna say,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm not like super hand coordinated. Uh, uh, maybe. I don't want to say basketball or volleyball or golf.
Okay.
Those are the only
Okay.
ones that are coming to my mind. And I wouldn't
Okay.
want to swim either.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna say figure skating.
Wow. That definitely came out of right field. I
I
did
don't
not
think
expect
I
that
would
one.
necessarily dominate, but I did take lessons when I was younger.
Okay.
So,
So let me
yes.
ask you this. What is the sport that you would absolutely suck in? The first sport that comes in your mind if you played it.
Basketball.
But you damn near 6 feet. You,
I know, but my hand, I just am not like coordinated. Like maybe if I tried, it's just been a while
okay.
since I've tried, but I don't think that would be my sport.
That's okay. Listen, I typically, I don't know, I'm not sure how long you will be out in Tarleton or Texas area. I typically come out to Texas for work and different things like that because I travel and family. But basketball is my favorite sport. Okay, You're almost as tall as me because I'm 6 feet. I'm 6 feet too. So I can show you a little something, Isabel, if you're willing to learn, of course. But I can show you
Willing to
something.
learn. All right, I might be. I might be.
Okay, say less, say less. Now, last of the rapid fire. Okay, if you had a dream job that you would love to do, what would that dream job be and why?
Um, I've actually thought about this. My dream job is I want to start. It's. Let me think. So, the parameters are kind of unclear, but I would say I want to start like a homeschool institution, kind of. Um, Either like it could be like an after school program or like a schooling place that like kids could go, where they focus on like different instead of like becoming soldiers like the typical like classroom kind of like is
Mm-hmm.
preparing them or soldiers or like you know business rats like I don't even know like climbing the corporate ladder like I would want to like incorporate like nervous system regulation like all those like emotional intelligence like that I don't think the school system like has the resources to um, like focus on. So
Right.
have like that be incorporated in like the schooling. So I would be like an administrator for kind of like creating like a new schooling system. That would be like dream job.
Okay, I like that. I do. And I really have liked this conversation. I've obviously learned about your why into sports, learn about the five different schools that you have attended in the university, but also being able to, universities, I should say, but also being able to be All American in track, play soccer at a very early age, get to know you beyond just the classroom and the track field as well, learning some things about you. Obviously, you going through some things, talking about a breakup, which is never ever easy. I mean, Taylor Swift pretty much dedicated a whole album all based upon a breakup. Okay, so and so did Usher with his Confessions album, which is still his favorite, best album in my opinion. But I digress by saying I really do appreciate you coming on to the podcast and really sharing your story and your why, Isabel. My final question to you is before I let you go, is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, track and field, school, anything at all before we conclude?
Yeah. Uh See if I can keep this short. I think the main thing is I've been to a lot of different places, and it's been hard. I think people can be afraid to get out of their comfort zone, and I think I would be someone to say like there is so much like lessons to be learned and exciting things and like yourself to experience yourself in different environments and learn more about yourself on the other side of your comfort zone. And I think really seeking outside your comfort zone can like teach you so much about yourself and like the things um, that you want to do and pursue in this life. So I think to anyone watching this, thinking about like that next big step for them to really just like go for it because um, we only get this one life.
I feel that. I feel that. And again, I want you to enjoy your Thursday evening, enjoy your weekend. I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you and seeing what you do this upcoming season and in your future endeavors. You and I will most certainly again be in touch. Thank you again for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
Absolutely.